I'm Courtney Gilbert. I'm the Curator of Visual Arts at the Sun Valley Center for the Arts. And the exhibition that we have up right now is called Moving Pictures, Early Animation and Its Influence. This exhibition is a look at the history of animation and animated films from the beginning of the 20th century up to the present day, and the way that contemporary artists are using imagery from early animation, but also its techniques to make contemporary art. The core of the exhibition is a collection of animation cells that date from 1914 up to the 1980s. They all come from the collection of a couple named Jay and Gretchen Basson, who live here in the Wood River Valley. And over the last few decades, they've been collecting animation cells and drawings and also early viewing devices. Some of the highlights of the exhibition are a drawing that was used in making a film called Gertie the Dinosaur that animator Winsor McCay made in 1914. It was the first animated film featuring a dinosaur. The same animator in 1918 made a film called The Sinking of the Lusitania, sort of a propaganda film he made to draw attention to the reasons the US should enter World War I. And that was the first film he made using an actual cell or celluloid. There's a cell in the collection from the 1937 Walt Disney film Snow White, which was the first full-length feature film made using animation. There are a lot of Warner Brothers, characters that are near and dear to all our hearts, like Bugs Bunny, Yosemite Sam. One of the things that's great about the collection is that people of all ages walk in and recognize the characters, but they can learn something about the technical side of what went into making an animated film. We also have artwork by 4 contemporary artists. 2 of those artists actually make works on paper that use the imagery of early animated films. One is an artist named Blakely Dadson, who's based in Portland, Oregon, and he makes these really wonderful drawings that look kind of like the frames of an animated film, and they bring together these very sweet, innocent, charming-looking cartoon characters like bunnies and little, fish with things that look like Transformers. He's kind of bringing together the past of animation with its present of violence and sugary sweetness that runs through a lot of cartoons and a lot of children's entertainment in general. Susan Te Kahurangi King is an artist who was born in New Zealand in the early 1950s. At the age of 4, she stopped speaking, and she continues not to speak, but as a child she began drawing prolifically, making thousands of drawings, many of which feature cartoon characters that are really well known to us, like Donald Duck, Daffy Duck, Woody the Woodpecker. She'll show them kind of cropped across a sheet of paper, or sometimes repeating rapidly segments like their heads across a sheet of paper. These incredibly sophisticated, fascinating drawings that are not just about the characters and the way they look, but I think also about modernist composition and about the idea of animation itself, the idea of movement, dynamic movement across a page. The other 2 contemporary artists in the exhibition both are painters who use stop-action animation as a way to kind of expand the boundaries of their painting and drawing and printmaking practices. Stas Orlovsky is an artist based in Los Angeles who came to Sun Valley. We brought him here, and he spent about a week installing this beautiful, kind of quiet, meditative piece called Wildflower. There's imagery from Soviet children's books that he incorporates into his projects, Victorian botanical drawings. He's interested in Japanese and Chinese printmaking. And so all of these influences come together in these really wonderful, kind of magical installations that combine projected images with wall drawing and collage in a way that, for him, recalls the really early roots of animation in things like magic lantern shows. We also have a selection of works on paper. Shelley Jordan is an artist who's based in Portland, Oregon. We have 3 different bodies of work on display from Shelley. One is a selection of small paintings that she calls portraits of everyday objects. Lots of them are fruits and vegetables. They also recall still life painting. And sometimes she'll start painting something like a pepper or a pear and make small changes to the painting every day as the pepper or pear, in this case, age through time, and then photograph the painting as it evolves and string those photographs into an animated film that speeds up the ripening and eventual decay of the fruit or vegetable. We also have a film called Anita's Journey that's the story of her mother-in-law's experience as a child in Nazi Germany, hiding in and around Berlin before she and her family were able to escape. It's a really powerful film that was made using a series of paintings that Jordan, again would paint, photograph, erase, repaint up to 500 times each painting that went into the telling of this story. The final body of work we have from Shelley Jordan is a project called Lost in the Woods, which she recently completed in collaboration with a sound artist named Kurt Roda. We have 3 projections on display, and they're, I think, about the experience of being on a journey and maybe feeling lost, but you're actually headed to a new destination, and that idea of transition and using the woods, being in the woods as a metaphor. I think this exhibition is not only a great chance for adults who grew up watching a lot of the cartoons that we have cells for to kind of take a trip back in time, but also for a whole generation of kids who aren't familiar with hand-drawn animation to learn about how it was done and how artists continue to use it as a tool today.